Salam guys! Welcome to Twice Inspired with Habiba
and Shukri.
So we really hope this podcast will inspire you.
We're just two best friends who love to have deep, meaningful conversations.
And even though the things we're going to talk about are nothing new,
sometimes it's helpful to hear it twice so you can be twice inspired. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam. How are you, Shuks?
I'm good. I know everyone missed me, but I'm back now, so don't worry about it.
That was so sad. I actually hated you, I'm not gonna lie.
What did you say? But you know, life happens, so it's not that deep. Don't worry about me, guys. I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, obviously, it was a time when we had guests, so
yeah, it was a good episode, and I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah, what did you think? I haven't actually really spoke to you about it. Yourself?
I haven't finished it because I knew that like cut this out, it's fine. Because I knew that like when I was listening to it, I would feel really upset that I wasn't there. So I was kind of putting it off because I was just like, I know I'm gonna feel like I know I'm gonna have FOMO and I don't like that feeling. So but then I did listen to some and it sounded good, and then I was just like, okay, I can't listen to it. But
to listen to it. I need your feedback.
Okay, no, I know it was good. That's the thing. Like,
has anyone else given feedback about it?
Well, it only came out last week, isn't it? But I haven't really seen anyone, or no one's messaged me. But yeah, like remember I told you like my cousin's wife like said she listens to it, and it was so weird to me because I was just like, it's so weird that people listen, but she said that she really enjoys it and things like that. So
yeah,
and she said she gets like a note.
Yeah, go on.
She says she gets a notification for like when it comes. Ooh. So she's probably listened to that one. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I'll ask her what she thinks.
That's good. Yeah, no, my cousin was like, oh my god, Habiba, I thought they were co-wives. Because you know that the Instagram post. I was like, no, I was like, if you listen to this snippet, you would have clocked they weren't. But it was good because like I don't think she listened to the snippet, but she just listened to the episode. So I was like, sorry?
Because it's intriguing. Like even when I saw the post, I was like, this is good because like it's kind of like clickbait, but it's still good because you talked about it.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to mislead anyone, guys. I was just trying to bring up a juicy topic.
Yeah, exactly. Since people are asking it anyway, yeah, I think it's fine. But yeah, how are you?
I'm good, just recovering from the football.
Oh my god.
No, honestly, I was over it like soon. But honestly, the thing that was just horrible, obviously, was just knowing that people were going to be racist about it. Because straight away, I was like, oh my God, it had to be the 3 black guys who missed the penalties and then the 2 white guys who got the penalties. So now, obviously, everyone's just going to be racist as hell. And I was just like, oh, it's so sad because football's like meant to be bringing people together. And like, it was like such a vibe in the country, like, it's coming home.
Yeah. Literally, like before the Euro started, I was always like to my husband, I don't know why people are so obsessed with football. Like, it is not that deep. Like, why are you acting like you're getting money? Like, you're not getting money and you're not playing, so it's not that deep. And then we're watching football, like we literally watched every single game, and I'm literally acting like a crazy person. And it's like, I don't like England, but I love the England team because of the boys. Like, I'm just like, I really want them to win. And like, I was just crazy. And like, at the beginning, like, I know nothing about football, but even at the beginning, I was just like, I was supporting France as well. And then they left, and then Portugal, and then they left. And then I was like, oh my days, England might actually win because like all the good teams, or what people think are like the tough teams, everyone's leaving. And then they beat Germany. And I was literally like, they're gonna win. Like, I was just like, they're gonna win. This is it.
It was crazy.
And like, and then, you know what? I should not be so naive because I just feel like, no, but it's not good to be like ready for disappointment, because there was a few people obviously that they felt like, nah, it's not coming home. But it's good to think like that because, anyways, it doesn't deserve to come home because football hooligans are actually my biggest fear in life. Like, I genuinely am scared of them.
Yeah.
Because like even on the trains, on the day on Sunday, like it was like 2-3 p.m. and they're all drunk coming up the escalators, banging on the thing, like doing their chants,
Make a day
yeah,
of it,
and
like a whole celebration of it.
a whole day. So like, and they were doing the chants. Like, have you heard the one? Like, I'm not gonna say it, but
Yeah,
I
I
just
know what
kept
one you're
saying it.
talking about. I'm like, what is this? How is this related to football?
Literally. And then so obviously by the time the game even starts, they're gonna be drunk and they're already ready. So now, on top of that, I was thinking to myself, like, oh my god, I hope they win just so that everyone's not racist. And that's so crazy that we actually have to think like that. Like, I hope they win just, but it's like,
Yeah.
no, you don't deserve to win, and they're the ones that got you this far anyway. So just, it ruined everything. It actually
Yeah.
ruined everything.
I feel more sorry for like team members, obviously, because the team's
Yeah.
actually good, like you said, and like they're nice. So
Yeah.
even though the country doesn't deserve it, but they deserve it.
Yeah.
But yeah, football's crazy. Like it's just such fangirling. It's really pathetic when you think about it. Like these guys full on support these teams with so much emotion.
It
Invest
is
your
mad.
emotion into your wife, bruv. Like
It is mad.
invest your emotion somewhere else. But they're investing all their emotion into this football. But who do these like what do they do for you? Nothing. And
I
you're
don't know
crying
how, like,
over.
because I'm quite competitive, so I do get it in a way, and there's certain, I get it in a way,
I
yeah.
get it because
But
I
I don't
was
know
like
how
proper
they,
into it as
yeah,
well. But I would always remind myself it's not that deep and it's
yeah,
pathetic, so chill.
yeah. But I was genuinely like, I was literally screaming, and I was so sad. I was just like, please, please. And then I started to, I literally just kept, it couldn't come out of my mind. I was just like, oh
The way it just
no.
like oh my god,
Oh,
the way it just gave us such hope right until the end.
oh my god.
Every
Literally
time
by
they scored a
the end.
penalty, we would scream like they had won. Like I was with my
Yeah,
family, we would all jump up and scream.
yeah.
And then when they lost, we would just be like, "Oh my god!" And then, oh my god, yeah, it was just like
Because
so
literally,
much
like, it
emotions.
was, I feel like penalties are so hard anyway. It's like luck. But then, like, he actually saved the last one of theirs, and I was like, oh my days, if they, this is it.
Yeah,
Like, but then,
yeah,
like, it was like that little bit of hope each time. Like,
yeah,
someone missed, and someone
literally.
scored, and someone missed, and it was like, and then obviously everyone on Twitter was just saying it wasn't fair because, and to be fair, like, I agree with them, but I also, so like, I was agreeing with the people that were saying, like, like, Sancho and Rashford, they hadn't played the whole game and they just came on and all this kind of
Yeah,
stuff, which is true. And like, Saka's only 19 and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, but that's only because they missed. You know what I mean? If they had scored, they would have been heroes. And I feel like the coach, like Southgate, did want them to be like heroes, and I feel like
yeah,
it
and
was
he
good,
believed in them
good
because
for him to
apparently,
do that. Yeah.
but I don't know. Disclaimer: I don't know anything about football. Okay, I'm
Same.
not a football expert.
Same.
We're just begging it, yeah. But apparently Marcus Rashford is like really good at penalties.
Yeah, he's
That's
sick.
why he
Apparently, he's
brought
done
him
it well.
in.
And like, it
I'm not
makes
gonna lie,
sense, yeah. But even
that was so disastrous when he missed. I was like,
no, but now, the more the more I think about it, yeah, it's like he hasn't played in that game. Like, even throughout the whole
yeah,
tournament, he hasn't really been playing that much. So he hasn't played in that whole game, and he put him on, like, there was 1 minute to go, and it's like they barely touched the ball. So it's like, sometimes, and I get it because they're fresh for penalties, but it's like, put them on like with extra time, because that's a bit of time, 30 minutes to get into the game. But it's like, you come on the first and you have to. It's so much pressure, and you haven't really, like, they're watching on the sidelines like us, and then they have to go and be in there. Like, that's hard
yeah.
to do. Like, I feel
He
like that's,
he needs to get his adrenaline running a bit.
yeah, like, you kind of need to get into it. Like, I don't even know football, but it makes sense to, like, kind of just get into it. And I feel
No,
like
but I don't know.
they
Apparently
all
he was injured, so maybe he literally didn't want him to get more injured, so that's why he put him on the last minute. I don't know.
Yeah. To
Apparently,
be fair, as I said, I don't know about football, and I feel like
yeah,
the coach is the one that got them to the final anyway, so he probably does know what he's doing. But there were people obviously that know football and stuff like that. Like, the guys that scored, they were just cussing him out, saying he's just been useless the whole season. Yeah, but I'm just like, okay, I don't know what that even means. But I did feel sad for them, and like, when Saka was crying, I was just like, oh my
that
god,
was
it's
so
really
sad.
hard. I was genuinely sad, and then in the next minute, I was like, oh my god, everyone's gonna be racist. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, but in that moment, I was actually sad, and I was just like, oh. They didn't win. And I think it's too. I don't like football because it's too emotionally exhausting.
Yeah.
So
But no, but it's amazing they got that far. Honestly, I feel like we should still be
they
proud.
made history.
Yeah, we should still be happy. Like we got that far. And
Exactly. Since 1966, they haven't been in the final. Apparently, I think that's right.
that was the last
Because when
time
they
they
beat,
won. But I don't know when the last time they were in the final. Maybe then as well. God knows. But yeah, it's been a long
yeah,
time.
but and then obviously the racism began.
But I don't know. Do you think all of that stuff was true? Like about like people throwing people on the train tracks? I really hope it isn't because sometimes fake news just spreads. But
Yeah, like so. This is what I mean. Unfortunately, but people were putting
oh,
like monkey
God.
emojis under like the boys' Instagram,
Yeah, that stuff
and
was
I think Marcus Rashford thingy in Manchester got kind of like ruined. But then people, but to be fair, people kind of like put all the flowers up there, and they kind of made it into like a big better
yeah.
thing, and like everyone's been speaking out about it. Even bloody Boris Johnson and Priti Patel, yeah, those little
Who
bastards,
are
those little racists, yeah. When they wanted to take the knee and fans were booing, number one, you're booing your own team because they're taking the knee to go against racism. Are you lot dumb or something? I would have just said, forget you lot then. And then now they're saying it's unacceptable, this racial slurs, blah blah blah. It's like, why are you acting like you guys are not part of it? Like, why are you acting like that? It's just BS. Um,
the world is
and yeah, that's what
right
I mean.
now.
So obviously people were kind of suffering like different attacks and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know. I don't really like to like keep spreading it and sharing it and blah blah blah. But I think it is a true reality and it does happen. And it's just sad that like it's kind of like we forgot a little bit because everyone was just like, yes, Sterling, yes, Saka, they're so amazing, they're so this, because like they're doing well for them. And it's literally like that same exact thing of like when you're doing something good for us, that's when we like you. But it's like, excuse me, we're not your slaves here to work for you and as your entertainment, okay? Even if they felt like the thing is, you can say that was a bad penalty, they played shit, like that's fine. You don't need to talk about their race, like that's just unacceptable. Do you know what I mean? It's so irritating because literally, I think I sent that thing in the group chat as well of like when he was saying, "Oh, this Saka kid's really good," blah blah blah, and then he was
Yeah,
like,
they would literally
"FPLM, I hate these blah blah blahs," and it's like
crazy.
now you want to twist, so it's like no people, even if they were rubbish the whole time, even if they lost everything, even if whatever, they're still human
Also,
beings and they
they
don't
probably
deserve
only got
racism.
to the finals because of the black players anyway. Like I said, I don't know anything about football yet, but
No,
it's
but it's like that whole team got you there, so just stay with the
exactly.
whole team, like stop
I
being.
honestly feel like
Yeah.
we should just refuse and should boycott playing for these freaking racist people.
But then this is the thing. It's also their country. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. They
Like
obviously
they
feel
were
like
born here and they want to play. Imagine playing for the English national team, like in big football, at age 19, 23, 21. Like that's their dream. Do you know what I mean? And it's like it must be so. It is so weird because it's like you're born here. This is your country. This is your culture, and you love it and everything. And then at the same time, you sometimes experience this, and it's just so. It's just a weird conflict because it's like so I just remembered, you know, like David Lammy, yeah, because he always talks about like why can't I tick like English, and I was listening to Kelechi's thing, and she was like because they don't want you, like they don't want you. So because people on Twitter started to say like Marcus Rashford, he fed the kids and blah blah blah, these different people, these are all their accolades, and it's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, like you're still not gonna be a part of them. And like it just made me laugh that because you know on the thing you can't tick Black English because you're not
I
English.
mean there
You
isn't
get
a
it?
black
You're
English
not English. Yeah, but you're not. So it's like, no, but you know, some people they feel like
like British.
I'm born here, I'm in this country, we're the same. And they obviously want to say, you know, we are the same, we're this, blah, blah, blah.
But you're not English either though. You're not black English. Like you're British, but you're
Yeah,
African.
but in different countries, like if Asians that have moved to Kenya, they say they're Kenyan. Do you know that? Or even Yemenis that go to
Yeah,
Kenya,
but
they say
yeah, but
they're Kenyan.
that's just weird as well. It's like
But we don't have that. We don't have that national identity. Like I could never ever say I'm English,
yeah, but there's British,
regardless.
right, isn't it? They differentiate it. They they don't. Yeah, it's true because they don't. they make
because of
differentiation where it's like you're British, not
yeah,
English.
yeah, exactly. But it's like I'm not saying I want to be English, but I'm just
I like
saying
white people that say
there's,
like they're South African. Like I know they were born there and stuff, but
there
like
you go. No, because they have that. What did you say?
but you're white. Like you're not really
But
African.
they have that nationalism as well, which is that's a bit different and it's a bit weird. But it's like that happens in different places, and that's actually in a way it is good because it's like we're not saying based on color you're this and you're that. Like you were born here, you were educated here, you give to our economy, you're part of the culture, you're part of society.
Yeah.
But there's why would I never call myself English? Why would someone whose families have been here for years and years and years never call themselves English only because the color of their skin? But I understand obviously it is different because you know that I'm also Somali. I've got like my parents came from there, so it is interesting. But I think it's not fair that like there's this weird kind of conflict because it's like I was born here and I want to belong here or I deserve to belong here because I'm literally playing in your national team. What are you doing? Getting drunk and
Exactly.
acting crazy and being naked and embarrassing
Yeah,
yourself. Like
immigrants and ethnic
drunk
people have
people
done
make
more
me
for this
sick.
country.
Huh?
They've done more ethnic people and immigrants have done more for this country anyway then
Literally, like what you do is you take, and what they do is they give.
yeah, you know, we're all people of the world.
Yeah,
No, but culture's beautiful and
yeah,
like every country has its beauty in it. So it's like, yeah, we're all just humans, but it's like it's fine to say like, yeah, I'm African because you want to celebrate your African culture or your whatever because you want to celebrate whatever culture. But it's just like wrong when you start thinking you're better than other people.
yeah. But it's like when they're doing well, yes, they're from this country, but when they're not, they're others. Even like Ozil was saying it as well. I think maybe it was Ozil. I think Messi or someone.
Yeah, I think
When I win, I'm German. When I lose, I'm Arab. And it's like, yeah,
yeah, there's been there's just there's always
Benzema.
been that in football though. Like even from a young age, I've realized
Yeah,
that um yeah, I've just always heard things about
like big. There's like racism in football and how they try to tackle it because literally footballers had like banana peels thrown at them. Do you know how psychotic that is? Like, do you know how crazy that is? And people are chanting nasty words to them and like making monkey noises. I think it was in Bulgaria, but it's happened in different places. In England, they're booing them for taking the knee. Like, are you guys dumb? Like, but I think there has been a big issue in like racism in football. Obviously, there's racism in the world, in everywhere. But I don't know if this is judgmental to say, but the caliber of people that are like big football fans are also the kind of people that are racist. Like that's just what it seems to be like. That's why I'm scared of football.
I don't
I'm
know
scared of
every boy's a football fan, more or less.
not every boy, but I'm saying, you know, when you think about football hooligan
Yeah, yeah, you think of those drunk white people, yeah.
and you think of and you see the flags and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
makes you feel
yeah.
some way.
I get you. But also I feel like the people that were probably racist are probably I don't know. I feel like they're probably not from London. Obviously you get racism in London, but they're
They probably are from London. They're probably from Essex. Well,
it's like
that's nearly London.
they're probably just there, but they're not. I feel like they're not like
Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna say
from
where they're
our
from.
end.
Actually, I was
You know what I
gonna,
mean? Like, because in London, it's so multicultural, you can't. Obviously, there's still racism, but it's like just a lot less. And I feel like the main racists are probably out of London.
to be fair, I don't know, but
I just made that
I
up.
just know that when yeah, you just made that when people get drunk, they don't hold back. So if these
They're
people
true.
are literally drunk out of their minds, they don't hold back. That's their true thing. And I saw this thing. I think I put it on my Instagram. Maybe I didn't. I think I did. And it was this guy calling in to LBC. I think, or maybe not. Like it was just a radio show, and he was saying it was called like "I used to be racist."
Oh yeah, I saw that. You
Did
put
you?
it on your thing. Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and he was yeah, and he was saying how like not enough people are talking about how they used to be racist, and he was just saying how he basically used to be racist, and then he kind of realized and blah blah blah. And I was like, that's so good that he's actually saying that because it's true people don't want to admit it and stuff like that. But I think it's fine to just say like you used to be racist, but you just need to change now. I think people just need to be honest. But a good thing that people are doing now is like getting into contact with their workplaces. Like that's just my favorite thing
You think that's
when they're
actually
getting
working?
fired. Yeah, I think it definitely
People got
works. Like
fired.
that's my yeah, I've seen loads of stories on Twitter where they actually do get fired because obviously now like the Prime Minister and also like the football people, the FA, I think, like they've also like spoken out about it and stuff. And apparently,
Yeah, go on.
uh,
Yeah, go
this
on.
like he like Boris wants to meet with like social media companies to try and get people's information. But that's another interesting debate because it's like, why do you want to like it's kind of like
Violation
it's
of.
kind of like a double-edged sword because it's like privacy and then yeah, but I think there was this
Oh,
thing going around
he's
saying
using the
if you see
racism to his advantage. That's what he's doing.
her
He's using the racism to his advantage.
exactly, and then people are like, well, they're already tracking us because of our phones, blah blah blah. But I don't know, but I
Yeah,
think it some
social
people do
media
have
need to
her
do more. Like the social media companies need to do more. Like they should they should be able
yeah,
to track that
like
people.
deactivate them or something,
Yeah.
like their accounts and stuff like that, because I think I saw something as well that said Instagram doesn't recognize the monkey emoji as being racist. It doesn't violate the racism, blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, then change the rules. Like, if it doesn't violate the rules, change the rules because obviously it's just an emoji, but we know what it means, so change the rules. Um,
And it's the same thing with Islamophobia. That's what fuels so many of these killings of Muslims, like the one
yeah,
in New Zealand, for example, because people there's no censorship on social media, but then they want to censor like issues like Palestine and things like that. So they do censor things when they want, because they'll be
mm,
censoring Palestine like there's no tomorrow, but they don't want to censor things like racism
mm,
or Islamophobia or.
exactly.
But yeah,
And also apparently, like, he was supposed to meet them. They were gonna have some kind of meeting, but the English like team refused to meet with him. And I was
Boris,
like, yeah, with Boris.
that is
I
so
was like,
good.
huh? Yeah, exactly. Like he's literally a
He's
racist
racist,
himself. And
yeah.
yeah, so like a lot of obviously footballers and people have been speaking out and stuff like that. And to be fair, like I have also seen a very positive outpour and of like love and care for the boys, like, so it's been
Yeah,
nice to see that, to be honest, like
yeah.
everyone's supporting them, everyone's behind them, the football team, the coach, everyone, like, so it is good and it seems like people are calling it out and stuff, but I don't know how it was before, like I've not been involved in a racism in football conversation before, so I don't know if like they usually do this or whatever, or if they're actually gonna try and make moves. But it would be so good if they could find those people and like ban them from games because they love football so much. So I feel like
Mhm.
if they said you're not allowed to go to any games or blah blah blah, then they actually
That would be
would.
so good.
But but yeah, the kids were so sad at school as well. One boy
Oh,
was like cried yesterday. I was like,
that's
oh, it's
taking it too far.
okay.
You need to chill.
Yeah, but little boys, football's their life. We cry at movies, like it's not. I understand, but it's like sometimes you don't win, and it's fine, and you just move on, and it's okay.
Anyway, enough of football because we are not football experts. You know, like obviously we're talking about.
If any guys are listening to this, like just shut up, or even girls that watch football, they're probably like, you don't know anything. I've
Mm.
been trying to like learn the offside rule for the entire tournament. And I barely know it, but I feel like I kind of know it now. But I literally ask every single time, why is that offside? I'm so dumb. But like also the way that he dragged him on my days, I actually wanted to beat him up. I actually don't like Italians.
I don't understand football. I don't understand like
Italians.
penalties. That's what I don't understand. Like
What do you mean don't understand penalties? They
not
just go
penalties,
like
sorry, fouls and stuff, and the red, yellow.
yeah. But the fouls
I just don't understand how sometimes you'll get a foul and
are
someone,
allowed. Yes.
and then like
Sometimes you're allowed, and then other times you're not. But also when he's dragging him from the neck, like, do you know why I didn't like it? Because the Italians, I feel like they're grown men and they're so harsh, and then England is like little boys and they're just bullying them like little Mahim and
but
you know I
apparently
mean
like that foul that he did,
yeah.
whatever his name is, was like a proper quality
Yeah.
foul because he knew what he was doing. Like
Because
he
he was
knew,
about to score, yeah.
yeah, because he was gonna score, and he knew if he let him go, he's gonna score. So he knew I'd rather just take a foul take a yellow card. But I think that's so wrong. I feel like that's why
That's dirty.
it should be like potentially a red card as well, or there should be some.
Yeah. But I think he would have risked that. He would have risked going off.
That was blatant, like dirty play. So I feel like that should literally, something should really bad should happen where like shouldn't play at all for the rest of the game. But yeah, on to the main topic of discussion for this episode. Me and Shukri are going to talk about this book called The Book of Assistance by Sheikh Imam Abdullah ibn Alawi al-Haddad, who was a scholar in the something
UK
something century. let me check. In the 12th Islamic century. So that would have been in the 18th century, I think. The 12th Islamic century.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, so my cousin told me about this book because we were talking about like self-help books, and he was like, he used to read self-help books, like the Western ones, and then he started reading Islamic ones, and he realized when you read the Islamic ones, they're just so much better because the self-help Western ones just basically copy a lot of things from Islam anyway. So obviously, when you read Islamic self-help books, they're just way more comprehensive and like wholesome. So he told me about this book, and then I ordered it, and I started reading it, and I just loved it. And then I told Shukri to get it, and she started reading it. So what did you think of it, Shukri? Because I haven't actually asked you.
Yeah, so I thought it was good. Okay, yeah. So I also ordered another book called The Productive Muslim, but I haven't started reading it yet. It hasn't come yet, so I'm excited to read that. But yeah, I have always thought like, yeah, I'm reading all these different books and blah blah blah. And like I always manage to find a connection to Islam in terms of like I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of like Islam, that's kind of like Islam.
Yeah.
But then I just wanted like an actual book from Islam that tells you the actual things. And also I think it's important to like always be learning and stuff. So I'm trying to like listen to more things, like because I listen to so many podcasts, but now I'm listening to like these lectures, the seerah of Prophet Sallallahu, and it's just been really good. And the Book of Assistance, like, it's got a lot of information, which is good. I think like I'm gonna have to like reread things and go back to it and like make notes, which is what I've been doing, because I think it's like a proper kind of study. It's not just like a light-hearted thing. It's actually like proper good. And
so just because like it kind of relates what I wanted to say as well right now to what you're saying, like it's kind of a book where you have to reread it again. And what I actually wanted to do was read each chapter and like implement each chapter before I go on to the next. I feel like that's a good way to read it as well. That's why I've hardly read any chapters, because like I'm like, I really just want to like take in each chapter and implement it rather than just reading the whole book and then forgetting about it. So it's definitely one of them books like you need to keep referring to.
Actually, yeah, and it's like on everything. Like I feel like it's just got everything. Like just even looking at the content, it's got everything. And it's like about 32 chapters, not including the conclusion. But I've read like 10, and like they have made me like reflect. And it's true, I've been reading them slowly as well, because then I'm like, okay, what's my thing that I'm gonna like implement here and stuff like that. So I've been trying to apply it as well. And then I'm like, okay, let me just go back. So it's like it's very practical.
Yeah, it's a really practical book, and like so the way it's organized is each chapter is something you kind of need to incorporate into your life. So the first like few are more like non-practical. They're more kind of like not spiritual, because the whole book's kind of spiritual, but they're more like just non-practical in the sense, like for example, the first one's certainty. So it's all about like having yaqeen and like having certainty, and then like intentions and things like that. And then the rest are like actual practical things you can incorporate into your life. So like having a period each day where you reflect, for example, incorporating remembrance and like dhikr into your life, and then incorporating reading Quran. So like each chapter is something you should incorporate into your life, which is really nicely laid out, and it's so easy to read as well.
Yeah, like it's easy to read. The chapters are short. It's not overwhelming. Like it has like Quranic ayahs just in there, like just the facts, the whatever, like what it is. And yeah, like I think it's really good. Like it forces you to kind of like deep it and like think about your life rather than just like, you know, I mean, reading a book. Like to be fair, I think Atomic Habits was probably the only other one where I was like, okay, I can actually put this in specifically into my life because it gave you the steps and stuff like that.
Mm.
But yeah, it just kind of makes you think about that. And yeah, like the first part was on certainty and how like certainty is the foundation of everything. Like everything else comes on top of that, and it's true. Like it made me think of that saying, like if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, and like you need to be 100% certain, like in your faith, and just make sure that you have a firm belief, basically, and then everything else comes after that. And I think specifically, like in today's society, like it's what made me think about like in today's society, like everything changes, everything's evolving 24/7, and if you can't have a solid set of beliefs and values, then like who are you? Literally, because I feel like who you are is based on your, because also I did this training thing on values, and like I don't know, I'm happy to share what mine are. I feel like mine are growth and integrity, because for me, like growth, like just trying to be better each time, like in terms of my spirituality, my health, everything, like relationships, everything. And then integrity, like staying true to who you are. And I think in like nowadays, like everywhere you go, it's kind of hard to stay who you are, not compromise that. And yeah, so basically it reminded me of that. It reminded me of my value of like integrity and being who I am and standing for the truth, even when it's not like an easy thing to do, and like a it's not fun, it's not what everyone's doing. And I feel like more and more these days, like it is becoming hard, which is why I kind of wanted to go back and kind of like relearn, not relearn, but just like remind myself of the religion. What does it say? Have discussions about it, keep talking about it, and make sure that like this is something that we always discuss, because sometimes it could just feel like it's not um I don't know. It just feels more. I know this is bad, like, but it feels like a task or like a chore to like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like before, when I was a bit younger, like, so I used to go to this sister circle on Sundays. Like, my sister will remember this. It was in Tooting. It was in this place, and there was like cake and tea, and like all the sisters would come and like we'll talk about it. And it was actually fun. Like, I actually enjoyed it. I was probably like 12, but I really enjoyed going to it, and like I would look forward to every Sunday, because would like learning about the prophet's life and the different prophet stories and all the things that happen. Like, it's actually so interesting. And like even in like even when we were at schoolhouse and we were in like religious studies, like we were so passionate about our religion. Like we didn't care. Like we would have debates and everything with people, because we just had that energy of like, this is my religion, this is my identity, this is who I am. Like, and I'm gonna stand for it. Blah blah blah. And I feel like sometimes as you grow up, you kind of I don't know, it just kind of weakens sometimes, because you're just like, you just want to fit in, you just want to be friends with everyone, blah blah blah. But so yeah, it kind of just made me think about that, and like having that certainty in yourself.
Yeah. Like when I first read that, I was like, even though everything, not everything, but so many things in the book are like things we already know as Muslims,
Yeah.
but it's just like the way he words and the way he puts it is really beautiful, and puts it into such a simple way that it just makes so much sense. So when he was talking about certainty, it was just like, oh my God, it's so true. Like if you have 100% faith and certainty that there's a day of judgment, you're not going to do this sin, or you're not going to do this bad thing, because you know there's a day of judgment and Allah's watching you. And that's why it's so important to like build on your certainty and work on it, and work on your faith. So when he says certainty, like what do you feel like he means when he says certainty?
Like,
Obviously he talks about it, he goes into
yeah,
explanation, but it'd just be good to like discuss it.
Yeah, like I think certainty is like believing in this, like, so it's unseen but it becomes seen. I think he even says that in somewhere, like where the unseen becomes seen, like that's how much you believe in it. Like the unimaginable is like you can see it. So
Yeah.
like as you just said, like knowing that Allah's watching you.
Yeah.
as if he is, because he is watching you. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's basically what I
Yeah,
think.
I think he refers to also the different levels of iman, which iman is kind of like certainty in a way.
Yeah,
I think it's mu'min, Muslim,
I know what you mean. There's like a
muhsin.
top
I think
top one.
muhsin.
He says in here, like, there's 3 degrees of certainty. The first is blah blah blah. This is a firm belief with the possibility of becoming doubtful under certain circumstances. It's called faith. The
Yeah,
second is that of one's brought by now, which is the possession of the heart by faith and establishing itself so firmly that its opposite becomes no longer possible. And then obviously in this degree, the unseen becomes as seen. Actually, this is called certainty. The third, as you said, is of the prophets and the true saints who are perfect. Basically, here the unseen becomes seen, which is called unveiling. Uncertainty, like that's where everything is built. Because with everything, I've always felt like if you don't have that foundational belief, like in Allah that He's one of the last prophet, everything else can become very tricky. Like
yeah,
because I remember like even in Discover Islam week at uni and stuff like that, people ask like, why do you wear hijab, why do you do this, like you can question different rules and things, but ultimately it's because like Allah told us to. And if you
yeah,
believe that Allah's a creator and we're here to worship Him, and you believe that, then because there's, do you know what, because there's some things in the religion that you might not understand. There
mm,
might be things that you potentially feel like you might have a problem with or whatever. You might feel like it can be challenged because into the by society standards today. But if you have that certainty, you're still going to do it and you're still going to believe in it.
yeah,
Like you might think, oh, but why this, but why that, and try to analyze it. But it's like we're not going to get on that level. Like if you believe that Allah is all powerful and all knowing, then
yeah,
you'll be able to do it. And then obviously after that, there are explanations, and there are reasons, and there are things that you can research and find out about that will usually satisfy you.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, and then
But
yeah,
also,
go on.
sorry, on that as well, it's so important to know Allah as well. And I'm sure there's probably a chapter on in this about like knowing Allah, like because um for example, like a lot of people have like a problem with the evil that goes on in the world. But as soon as you know that Allah is the most just and you truly believe that, it will comfort you and it will make you understand things a bit more easily. Like there are really complex philosophical questions that people have, like about like the qadr of Allah, for example, just like why did Allah even create us and things like that. But when you really know Allah, which is so important for us Muslims to do, to like invest time into like learning about who Allah is and like through his names and attributes, like those questions just kind of, you don't have those questions anymore, or they're answered basically. Just yeah, for example, for me, just always knowing Allah is the most just always comforts me with like the whole problem of evil, because it's like, and just the fact that he's the most wise, like we can't understand things, we cannot understand it, but Allah is doing things for a purpose.
And then the second thing, like the second chapter, is on intention, and it just kind of talks about how you can attach any like, and I've heard this before, like any good intention to any act. So even if you're eating, you're doing it to get to eat from what Allah's provided for you and to get strength to kind of like pray and worship Allah and all of these things. Yeah, this chapter is interesting because it's just all about different intentions and the different kind of meanings and everything. And it's something, yeah, that I already kind of knew, and I already thought about like the importance of setting the right intention. And it made me think about like I can't remember where I saw this, but it was talking about you shouldn't assume other people's intention. And it's kind of like the thing that I put up on top as well. Because sometimes you can see what I put on Instagram, like what you can see sometimes what people are doing, but you don't know the intention behind it. So that's why, like us as human beings, we can't judge, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can judge. Um, yeah.
Yeah, like, and like you were saying you can attach many intentions to a single act. So for example, reading the Quran, you could have the intention that you want to build a connection with Allah, you want um to maybe people who might listen to it will benefit from it. or you want to extract knowledge from, you can have lots of different intentions. And then like same, I've always known that you could, for example, eating and drinking, you can always, because everything we do should be as a form of worship. And that's what he was saying, like everything we do should be with intention. So for example, something just as a human being that we need to do, like eating, we can have the intention to do that for the sake of Allah, because in the Quran it says eat from the good things Allah has provided for you. So it's like we can eat every time with the intention, like I'm following the command from the Quran, like to eat, like literally, and that therefore to worship, which is so beautiful. And then yeah, like we can eat in order to give us strength to worship, or we can eat in order to just like look after our bodies and be healthy and things like that. It's like everything we do, we should try and do it with an intention, which, and if we do that, like we'll just naturally and automatically kind of do everything correctly, because we're in that mindset of everything we do has an intention behind it. So we're not going to start, like, for example, just, I don't know, like wasting so much time on Instagram or watching like so many things on Netflix that aren't going to benefit us, because what is our intention behind that? He was also saying, like, the reality of your intention, or if your intention was sincere, if it becomes a reality. So he was saying, for example, which I thought was really interesting, like if I had the intention, okay, I want to become rich because I want to look after my family and I want to give money to the poor, and I want to like just use my money for good. And then when I do become rich, I just use it on spending things and like being lavish and wasting things, and I don't give money to the poor and I don't give money to like my family. That will kind of show your true intentions.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, like, maybe sometimes you can have good intentions, but then along the way they kind of get manipulated. Or
I think yeah, but then did you really have true intentions? Because I feel like if you always renew your intention and you're doing this for the sake of Allah, then it's true you will be forced to like do the right thing. Because that, like, I think we can just talk about different points. We don't need to go in order of the chapters because it's not like we're doing all of them.
yeah.
But like another thing he said in a different one is about like, I think it was on vigilance and just basically like kind of being embarrassed or shy or like nervous to commit sins, because if you truly believe that Allah is watching you, you're going to be embarrassed to do certain things. And I feel like that kind of ties in, because it's like, you know, sometimes in life people always try to impress each other. Like there's certain people you wouldn't do certain things in front of because like you have shame, or like you want them to have a certain image of you.
Yeah.
You want them to respect you or like you or think highly of you. And it's like, I feel like the fact that we do that with people, like human beings, is like we should be doing that with Allah, because Allah's the one that created us all. So it's like with that intention. So if you imagine you made that intention, like you want to have loads of money to help people and give back to your family and stuff. And it's like you made that intention, and you know, like when you make dua and stuff like that, and you're praying, and it's like a connection between you and Allah, and it's like a true relationship. It's not just, you're not just saying it, you truly believe in it. So then when it does happen, obviously you're going to be like overwhelmed by gratitude, and you're going to be so happy about that. And it would be embarrassing to not do that. Like that's how I see it. Like sometimes I actually feel like that. I feel embarrassed because I'm just like, that's just embarrassing. Like whereas before I recognized that there were certain things that I was doing and I didn't, because you know sometimes you can do the same act but you do it for different reasons. But I feel like it's so much more powerful when you genuinely have that connection with Allah, and like you feel, because you're so grateful for all the things that He's answered, like answered your prayers. Like doing bad things is a bit like, it's just embarrassing. Like I can't remember where else I read that, or maybe I don't know if you said it to me, but I remember like
even if like not specifically thinking he's answered my prayers, but just the blessings we have anyway, like that we didn't even ask for, like eyesight, being able
yeah,
to breathe.
literally, like genuinely there's sometimes like especially in exam season and stuff like that, yeah, like because you know you're like, oh my god, I need to do well, so let me not do any bad sins and stuff like that. But then you know, like when it really comes to, you're like, oh my days, because I've told you this before, but I actually feel like all my prayers get answered. I'm not even joking. Like, and then also if they don't get answered, I actually feel comfortable in like that wasn't supposed to happen, then that's fine. But the things that I really want, and I just feel like, oh, this is going to be just so good if this happens, like it just happens. So I just have that trust and that faith, and I feel like, um, yeah, that's like he was talking about
Oh, yeah.
reflection as well and stuff like why it's important to kind of reflect on it. And it just genuinely, I feel like it just makes you happier. It just makes you lead a better life because you're just so. I don't like making decisions. Do you know what I mean? You give up that control and you're like,
Yeah.
this is what's gonna happen. So it's kind of like you're being looked after. It's a good way. It's a good thing. Like it's like don't worry, just keep
Mhm.
praying and someone's looking after you and like this is how your life is supposed to go. But if
Yeah.
you're trying to always get control, it's not nice because you can't
Mm.
you can't have control, unfortunately.
Yeah. What were some other chapters that you like that stood out for you?
Another point that he made in a different chapter was about like your inner and outward self and about how your inward self should be better than your outward self, and
Mm.
like how your heart, like Prophet Sallallahu said that if your heart is good, like the whole rest of your body's good. So it's like don't worry about how you look, worry about how you are inside, because like inevitably if you're good inside,
Mm.
like what you do inwardly is like pure, then that's going to show on the outside. And like I don't know, it just resonated with me again because I feel like these days people always try to impress other people. But also, even myself, sometimes I get affected by people where I'm just like, oh, they have that thing, I want that thing. And it's like, you only want it to look good. Like, you don't want it to, there's no real benefit for it. You just want to show off. That's literally it.
Mm.
Um, and I feel like that's such a, like, so sometimes when I'm like, I want to post something on Instagram, I literally don't like, and I literally want to post it so much. And then I just force myself to not because like eventually I'm not going to even care. Like I genuinely don't care what people would say.
What do you mean? Like, what would you want to post?
So like if I'm out somewhere, if I'm eating some food, or if I got a
Yeah.
nice present or
So why do you
gift,
choose not to post it?
because I'm like, why am I posting this? Like I just want people to say like, oh my days are so nice. Like
I
I'm
know,
just
same. Like it's something I've come to realize as well. And like, but I'm so used to not posting now and not having the desire to post things. Now, when I have that desire, it's really weird to me. I'm like, wait, why do I want to post this cute selfie of me? Like,
yeah,
it's like I'm like stopping people know, like that's the old you.
yeah,
Like, it's just so weird how it's just become really normal for me to like not post anything now. And like,
yeah,
whereas
you
before
literally
everything would be like, oh, I need to post this, I need to post this. But now it's like I don't even have that thought or desire. And when I do, it's like, no. I
and it's like I was even
think
talking
it's
to my
part
sister
of just
about
maturing as well. Sorry, like, because like
yeah,
you kind of noticed that as well.
yeah,
And like, whereas do you know before I'd always be like, oh, I don't know if I should post this, should and I'd have this thing.
yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah,
you would always just kind of, I felt like you never really like cared. You would just be like, just post it, like, because you would post whatever you wanted to.
yeah.
It's like interesting
Literally.
you've kind of come to that as well.
I used to like overpost. Like I didn't care. Like, but okay. The truth is though, I didn't always feel like, oh, I'm just showing off. Sometimes I just wanted to, like, but sometimes if I was out with people and everyone's all snapping and stuff, I didn't really like it because I'm like, let's just spend time together. I don't want to take pictures, like obviously take pictures for memories and
Yeah.
videos, but you know, sometimes when you're trying to present the perfect image, so you're spending hours and hours like getting the right angle, redoing the video, like that's just weird to me, and like fixing it up and blah blah blah. For me, I also don't have the skill or effort for that. Like I can't be
Mm.
bothered. So I just post things quickly, but yeah, like, and also it would just be me talking or just me just chatting rubbish about something, like, so I don't know, obviously one part of it is showing off, another part is like I
Purpose.
don't, yeah, like it's like what's the point,
Yeah,
like,
it's like the intention. If you have a good
yeah,
intention, you would everything you do would be positive and with a purpose. So when I'm posting like selfies of me, by the way, I'm just talking like my personal experience. If people want to post selfies, like whatever do you
I like people's photos, yeah,
because I'm not getting other people who do this, like, but it's just my own personal realization that I've come to. It's like, what is the purpose of my selfie? Or just like me
yeah,
posting somewhere nice I've been. Sometimes I like to post nature and scenery and things like that. But yeah.
because I was speaking to my sister, yeah, and basically she was saying how like, because basically I'm in a place where like I don't want to post anything, but you know, sometimes you feel like you just have to because it's like it's an occasion. I need to post this,
Yeah.
but like a birthday or something. But for example, my sister, we were talking about like because her child and stuff like that, like we were talking about the kids, And I was just like, I would never ever put my children on the internet, even though I have a private Instagram account. I know everyone, blah, 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 blah. I don't know why people do it, but at the same time, I do kind of understand it, because when I see photos and videos of like people's babies and family time, stuff like that, I genuinely feel like it's so adorable and it's so cute. And I'm, mashallah, so nice. I like to see it.
I think it's just about having a balance, really. Like, and I think when you feel like constantly like, I need to post this, I need to post this, just live in the moment. Like, don't think about how you're gonna show the world what you're doing right now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, because I don't think it's that bad, but you're right, it's about intention, because even with loads of different things that people do, it's like you could have a good intention, but it could get corrupted as well. And it's just hard to like, it's just hard to know sometimes, because even when like I might want to share a reminder, or I might want to make a story, like I just feel like, why am I doing this? Like, even though it's like a positive thing, I know I want to do it to share that information.
Yeah, I think
I feel like, no, I know, but then I feel like like, for example, yeah, if I make my whole story just like videos of reminders and stuff, yeah, because I think they're good, I do feel self-conscious, because I'm just like, I don't want people to think I'm like,
this
I
thing.
don't know,
Yeah.
because it's not like, it's just a weird thing. I don't know. Even like sometimes when I say things and stuff, I'm just like, am I just saying this? But it's because I know I do believe it, but I just doubt myself sometimes. I'm like, I'm not trying to act like I'm so good. Like, I'm not trying to act like that.
Yeah, who knows? Forget that. Like, don't care about what people think.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it's just about your intention. Because I'm saying, like, even with the religious stuff, it's like you may have a positive intention, but then you might also have intention of like,
Oh, I want to look so good, kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I get
like,
you. I get you.
but
I had that struggle too when I first started posting like religious stuff. I was kind of thinking, oh my gosh, but like, I don't want people thinking I'm trying to like be this like religious speaker or like this religious person, even though I'm not talking myself. It's literally just reposts, but still it's kind of like, I don't want people thinking this. But then you just get over that as well. You're kind of just like, and then it became a trend anyway, like everyone posts things now. It's like, so
yeah,
it's
it's fun.
no one's gonna think, oh, this person thinks she's so religious because she's posting religious things all the time, because it's just like normal now, I feel like.
Yeah. And then like the last thing, and then I'll pass it to you. Like the other thing I thought he talked about, like the regular acts of worship that should be embedded into our routines, and it made me think about something that I had read in Atomic Habits of like small but consistent, and I already knew that was in Islam as well. Like the good deeds that are like your good deeds, like the extra things that you do should be like the basis. Like, so one page of Quran every day, and then if you're like really on it, you do more than that, but you never go below that. Like that's what the target should be. That I was like, okay, I need to actually figure out what my things are, like the things that will be easy enough for you, that even if you're tired, you will never go below that. But if you're feeling good and like you have more energy, you can always go higher than that. Like, but there should be your minimum, like sunnahs or nafilas or whatever you're praying, like, and how much Quran you're doing or whatever you're doing. Because I think like it's important to have Islam embedded into your actions, which is why even like with us, like even in this podcast, like we can do different things of like where we add like an Islamic reminder or different things where it's like it's just embedded into what you do. It's like it's part of your routine, and it's not like you don't suddenly remember, oh yeah, like I want to start working on my faith a bit more. Like it should just be part of our lives, the same way we embed exercise and healthy eating or whatever we want to do into our lives. Like, yes, that is basically just a routine. So I think people need to like when we always talk about habits and stuff like that, like Islamic actions and like being devoted should be part of that habits that you implement, basically.
Yeah, literally, exactly. And like he kind of tells you how you could do that. So for example, like remembrance, he says you should have an hour a day where you reflect upon things, and like that's so like meditation, that's like similar to meditation now, where everyone talks about the importance of reflect. And then yeah, he says like you should save a portion of your day for like acquiring knowledge, for like acquiring knowledge of Allah especially. And then what else, like I think just there's so much stuff honestly in this book.
Yeah, literally, like I was thinking I need to read this again, because it's
It's
like,
like
yeah, quite
and on
prayer.
regular devotions. and remembrance and reflection. So yeah, it's just like,
and it's just so interesting about like the different rakats and what it means, and like the maximum of this and the maximum of that, and like
yeah,
meditation. So I'm just like, yeah, it's just interesting. Like it's just good, um, good to know and things like that. Like, so that's why I tried to listen to like some more lectures, because I can just easily listen to things all day, and like it's more podcast now, and like not really music. So I'm gonna try and make that a part of, maybe like on the way to work, I listen to like one thing, because then you just learn something, and it's so easy. Like that's the thing, like acquiring knowledge I think is easy. You can just read something, you can listen to something, and like literally I remember like even like my Anna Muhammad, when we were younger, he would always say like there's 24 hours in the day, but people struggle to make like 1 hour for Allah and their religion. And it's true, because you can spend hours and hours doing just useless things, um like watching TV and just eating. But eating is fine, you can eat, but I mean you just do useless things, and like 1 hour, that's not even a lot. People can't even do 20 minutes. So it's just, you just start somewhere, do your little thing, and then just like embed it into that, because obviously Islam is a way of life. And one of the key things, sorry I know I'm talking a lot, but like one of the key things that in this whole thing, it just kind of reminded me, oh my god, like why is it so hard to be um like why is it so hard to do these things in today's society? Because obviously I feel like loads of things are stacked against us to make this actually difficult, because the lifestyle is to just be lazy and consume things and buy things and everything like that. And I feel like and then I was listening to a lecture, and it was talking about like Hajj and like stuff on Marwa and stuff, and Zamzam water, and also like Abdul Muttalib when he I'll just stick to one, but like Hajar when she was with her baby Ismail, and like in the middle of the desert and didn't know what was going on, but she had that faith. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like everyone that is like everyone in our religion that is worthy like has a struggle, and like you have to be tested to be excellent. Everyone, all the stories that we hear about, like there's always a struggle. Like in life, there's a struggle, and it's fine. I feel like it's good to embrace it, and that's kind of what I'm moving towards now. Like I don't really see things as I don't really see things as difficult. Like I'm just genuinely just happy. I'm just like everything's just fine, because even if there is a struggle, like it's fine. Like it's good. Like I'm being tested.
100%.
Um. So yeah,
Good mindset to have.
yeah. Like literally, I feel like before, like I literally used to complain so much, and it's not that I don't complain now, but it's more like I'm okay with it. Like whereas before, I'd just be like, this is just not fair. Like, and I'll just dwell on it. But now I'm just like, it's okay. Like it's not. It doesn't really bother my heart that much.
That's so good, alhamdulillah. And it is, it's just the best feeling ever when like you just become okay with things that you know are meant to be a problem, but you're just like, what it is, what it is.
Yeah. Genuinely, sometimes I feel like I just don't have any problems. Like I'm not even joking. Like, and sometimes I think, what were my problems before? Like I started to think like, what were my problems? Because I feel like I don't have any problems. Like I just feel like I'm happy, I'm alive, I'm healthy, I've got a job, I've got a house, I've got a husband, I've got everything I need, I've got a family, I've got friends. Like I don't really have a problem. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like before all I had was problems, and I don't know, but
That's
I'm
mad.
happy.
Alhamdulillah. May Allah always keep you like that.
I mean.
I mean, um, but yeah, any last words?
No, those are basically my last words. I've talked a lot about it, but yeah, I'm enjoying the book, and I'm like going to continue like making notes in it and try to implement it and everything like that.
Nothing. But yeah, guys, we hope you enjoyed this and you benefited from it, inshallah. Sorry that it was like all over the place, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a good book to read, and it's honestly so easy to read and just like practical.
Yeah, definitely, and like just take your time with it, and just
Yeah.
and it also has a lot of references for other books as well. So
Mm. But yeah, that's it from us this week.
thanks for listening, guys.
Also, it is Dhul Hijjah,
Yeah.
so don't forget, like these are the most blessed days of the year. So just keep up the good actions and stay away from the sins and try and fast as much as you can. And
Yeah, I'm gonna try
um,
fast tomorrow. So,
yeah, and I feel like it's also a good time to like learn about what Dhul Hijjah is and like the sacrifice of like why we sacrifice sheep on Eid and things like that, animals on Eid. But yeah, oh my god, it's gonna be Eid soon as well. So Eid Mubarak.
yeah, Eid Mubarak.
Because it's
Eid
gonna
Mubarak.
be Eid in like a few days. Um, but yeah, as always, let us know what you think and reach out to us.
Yeah, definitely.
Salam.
Salam.